Hi Barbara, I'm going to show you how I calculated my cost per yard as well as how that translates over to the project template for cost. And if you're using square inches to be more precise, I can show you how to enter that into your spreadsheet. So let's take this Arrow Navy White fabric, for example, that I have here. I bought 1 yard and it was $7.70 for that yard. Now this particular fabric happened to be 54 inches in width, but nevertheless the 36 inches for the yard by the 54 inches cost me $7.70. So then when I take that over to my project template, I've picked my fabric here from my drop down, and here's the $7.70 per yard, and that is the same price as if I were to calculate how many total square inches, and we'll do that in just a second. So when I make my bags, I usually just say, oh, I used a quarter of a yard or a third of a yard. I'm not too precise, but we can put it into being more precise. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and you can just use a calculator. So we'll find the total square inches of my fabric, which I got a yard, so we have 36 inches, and we're going to multiply that by the width of the fabric, which my fabric was 54 inches wide. So I have 1944 total square inches in that yard piece of fabric that I purchased. Now let's say for my bag I used a piece that was 12 inches wide by 15 inches long. So what you do is you take and you multiply 12 by 15 to get your total number of square inches that you used. So I went 12 by 15, I got 180 square inches, but we need to find what fraction of the piece the whole yard was. Remember, that was the 1944 square inches, so we're going to divide the 180 divide by the 1944, and that's going to give us a decimal, and that's the 0.0925. So you can enter in as many decimal places as you'd like, but I'll just go ahead and enter in 0.093 into my spreadsheet here. So 0.093, and that will give me the cost of the fabric that I used, because that's how much fabric I used, is 0.093 of the fabric. So I will show you kind of an easier example. We'll use the same Arrow Navy White example just so we know that it's calculating properly. Now let's say I used a whole half yard. I cut that whole piece in half. So I'm going to take 18 inches, because that's half of the 36th length, and I'm going to multiply it by the 54 inch width, because I used the whole piece. So that's 972, and I'm going to divide that by my 1944 total square inches, and that gives me exactly 1/2 or 0.5. So then I can put that in there. And same thing, you can do the same thing with your vinyl. I actually do that with my vinyl as well. I'll go ahead and pick one here. I'll do my gold marine vinyl. It's $6.20 for a piece that is 12 inches wide by, I believe it's 54 inches long. So I'm going to take 12 by 54. So I'm going to say 12 times 54. So my piece, when I purchase it, is 648 square inches, the total piece. Now, let's say I cut off a piece and I use a piece that's 7 inches by 12 inches. I'm going to take 7 times 12. So I have 84 square inches, and divide that by my 648 total square inches, and I'm going to get I'm going to use 0.13. So that's how you can be more precise in finding how many total square inches, and when you're using square inches, you can just enter it in as a decimal point and just use your calculator to find that, whatever that decimal is. I hope this helps you. If you have any more questions, just feel free to contact me. And this will work again for any of the prices that you put in. You just gotta put it in. You could put in on hand here, you could put in your total square inches if you wanted, or the quantity purchased, and then you'd have to translate that again back to your project template.